Hello everyone. Today we are going to start our third chapter of chemistry is the metals and non-metals. Okay, metals and non-metals. Okay, metals and non-metals are the one of the most important compound in our surrounding. Okay, the whole in the whole chapters we'll explain the different kinds of properties of metal and non-metals, how they forms, okay, what are their properties, how they react with different reagents. To know about the whole concept of metal and non-metal, we have to know what is the main thing of metal and non-metal and what are its properties, or you can say its characteristics, or you can say how they behave with the different types of metal or different types of reagents. First of all, to know about the metal and element, metal or non-metal, you have to know what is the element. Okay? Element is the basic form of matter which cannot be broken down into the further similar or smaller component. Okay, that means element is the smallest one. Element is the smallest particle of any kind of substances. Here we are discussing about the metals and non-metals. That's why you can say for particularly metals and non-metals are made up of different kinds of element. Okay? Element. Element is the element. Element is made up of only one kind of atom. Only one kind of atom. Remember, not more than one, only one kind of atom. Okay? And I should know what do you mean by elements. Next, and the main topic is the metals and non-metals. Now, what is called metal and what is non-metal? Okay. Now, see, first of all, metals. Metals is the element which shows different kind of properties. Suppose some properties I am saying, luster, hard, luster, hard, sonorous, malleable, ductile, a good conductor of heat and electricity, high melting and boiling point, high viscosity. These are all the individual properties. Now we will discuss. Okay, all the individual properties we will discuss, and what are the exceptions and what are its the differences between the with the non-metal. We also discuss. See, for the non-metals, an element which does not exhibit the properties of the metal, you can say these are non-metal. Okay. Now, for example, you can say metal is the iron, copper, aluminum, sodium, all are metal. Okay. And non-metal is the carbon, sulfur, iron. These are. Now, for first case, we are taking an example of suppose iron. Iron. We are taking an example of iron. You know, no? Iron means what? Simple. We have taken an example of iron rod. This one, iron rod. Now see, simple properties. Okay. Now iron rod is hard, high melting point. We cannot melt easily this iron rod. If you want to melt this iron rod, we have to give so much of temperature. Simple thing. Next, when we just beat with another metal something, we'll hear something sound. No, something. This property is known as sonorous. That means produces sound. Okay. Malleable, ductile. This one we will discuss. Okay, we will discuss one by one. Now see, first the main properties of metals with comparison to the non-metals. Now see, one by one the properties of metals and non-metals. Okay, first of number one, I am taken physical state. Physical state means any compound, it may be metal or non-metals, is exhibiting in which state. Okay, that means gaseous or liquid or solid. This means first of all we have taken metals. Metals are generally solid in nature, but it has some exceptions, which is mercury. Mercury means which is present in our normal thermometer, okay, which is in the liquid state. Mercury in liquid state, okay. Non-metals are generally solid or gases. Non-metals are generally exhibit in the solid and gaseous state, but it has also some exceptions, and one exception is the bromine. Bromine is liquid, okay. Next property is the luster. Luster means shining. It's shining or not. If you see, any metal is shining, but the non-metals are non-shining, that means non-luster, okay. So for example, carbon, hydrogen, fluorine, bromine, all are non-metal which are not shining or non-luster, but it has one exception, which is chlorine. Chlorine is little bit shining, not more shining as compared with the metal, but it is assumed as shining. That's why it is an exception of the luster property of non-metals, okay. See the next, third property. Third property is the hardness or softness. Hardness or softness, okay. Hardness or softness for metal. Metals are generally hard, but it has some exceptions also. So exceptions are the sodium, potassium, lithium. These are soft metal, not hard. Remember this one, these three are soft metal, not hard metal. But non-metals are also hard. Non-metals are also hard. If we take an example, not exceptions, okay. If you take an example, diamond. Diamond is the hardest element in nature, as you well know about the diamond. Diamond is the hardest element in our nature, okay. Till now diamond is taken as the hardest element in the world, okay? Now see, fourth property is the malleability, okay. Written now, you can take a screenshot and write. Fourth property is the malleability, okay. Now what do you mean by malleability? Malleability means beaten to the thin sheet, okay. Thin sheet, that means if you beat a metal, okay, if you beat any compound, it may be metal or non-metal, if we observe, or if we can transform the element into a thin sheet, then you can say that that compound have the malleability character, okay. Now see what is for metal particularly, okay. Metal can be beaten into thin sheet. That means we can say metal has the malleability property, okay, isn't it? For example, For example, gold, that means AU, gold, and silver, that means AG. Silver has most malleability character. I can say properties. Okay, properties. Now, what is for non-metal? Non-metals are non-malleable. That means we cannot make the metal, or we cannot transform the non-metal into a very thin sheet. That means non-malleable. Okay. See the fifth property. Is that no? Fifth property. Now see the fifth property. What is the fifth property? Suppose fifth property is ductile. Now, what is the meaning of ductile? Ductile means transformation into thin wire. Ductile means if we can any element, it may be metal or non-metal, into thin wire, that from that we can say that element is the ductile property, or it has the ductile property, because it's for the metal. Metal can be drawn in the thin into thin wire. That is, metal has duct, or metal, you can say metal is ductile. Okay, metal is ductile. Now, metal is ductile means, for example, Ag, that means silver and copper has the most ductility property. Okay, that's why if you observe our wire that we are using in your home, no, wiring or any electric devices made up of copper or silver. That's why, because these are has the highest ductility property. Okay. Now, what for non-metals? Non-metals are non-ductile. Non-metals cannot be drawn into a thin wire. Okay. See next property. The next property is the conductivity. Conductivity. Now, what is conductivity? Conductivity means, in the sense of, this conductivity signifies in the sense of heat and electricity. Conduction means transfer from one position to another. Transfer. Suppose we have taken a iron rod. Now, if we give heat in this position, okay, if we give heat in these positions, and if you want to touch, okay, if you want to touch in the another end of this metal, then obviously we will feel heat, or our hand will burn. Okay, our hand will burn. Then obviously we can say heat is transferring from one position to another positions, because we are giving heat in this end, but we are feeling this end also. That's why you can say heat is transferring from there to Similarly, if we see the electricity, if we connect one end of a wire to electric devices or electricity, then another end will also feel the electricity. Okay? That's why we can say conductivity means transfer of heat or electricity. Now, what is the main concept for the metal and non-metal? See, metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. Metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. But lead, but but lead is also metal. Lead and mercury both are metal, but these two are poor conductor of what? Poor conductor of heat, electricity. Okay. Now, what is about non-metals? Non-metals are poor conductor of heat and electricity, but it has some exceptions. Exception is the graphite. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity, but graphite is a non-metal. Okay. Next, is the melting point or boiling point. Okay. Next, number 7, melting point and boiling point. Melting point means is the temperature at which the compound is melting, and the boiling point is the temperature at which the compound is boiling. Okay. Now see, for metal, the melting and boiling point is very high. Okay, melting and boiling point are very high, but it has some exceptions also. Exceptions. One of the well-known exception is the cesium. Cesium is a metal, but it has low melting and boiling. Okay. Now see what is for non-metals. For non-metals, the melting and boiling point is low, but it has also exceptions. Exception is the diamond. Diamond is high melting and boiling point. Okay. Written, no? Next properties. See. Next property, suppose density. Okay? Density. Density means how the dense is solid or how the dense is metals or non-metals. Okay? Now, so density. Metals are highly dense. Okay? But we have some exceptions also. Exception. Exception is alkaline metal. Alkali metal. Now, what is alkali metal? We will discuss in the chapter 5. Okay? No need to think more about it. Non-metal have low density. Low density. The last property is the sonorous property. Sonorous. Sonorous means which can produce sound. Okay. Metal has the what? Metal has higher sonorous property than the non-metal. Metal is higher sonorous than non-metal. Okay. Okay. These are the simple basic explanations of the physical properties of the metals and non-metals. Okay. In the next class, we'll discuss about the some chemical properties. That means chemical properties means how the metals and non-metals are reacting with a different kind of reagents. Okay. Thank you.